Next race, though, that is coming up is the OKN Junior Final. That is coming up 18 laps of racing. That is coming up ahead for our drivers, 22 kilometers. Kees Aziza, a driver who has impressed over the course of this race, starts on row 3 with Egon Prodrotti, again a driver who has shown some great talent over the course of this weekend. Really looking forward to seeing what the Italian can do from row number 3. Row number 4, just behind this row you're seeing on your screen, is Sara Matsui, the Japanese driver who is part of the Discover Your Drive initiative. What can she do with Ella Häkkinen starting alongside on row 4? Matthias Witwer and Toby Gale, they go from row number 5 and they round out the top 10 of this grid. Then we'll have Angelina Simmons and Nilis Malik going from row number 6 as well. The Spanish and driver from Denmark going from that one. It was Denmark on my screen, it's Spanish on the screen there. What can they do from row number 6? Conor Clancy and Sofia Pavaznia go from row number 7. Again, really looking forward to seeing what they can do. Pavaznia, they're really happy to be on this grid here this weekend. Max Murray and Flavio Caria, they round out row number 8. Again, another very talented row 8. Really curious to see what they can do. Enea Pizzuto and Emilia Wiśniewska, they round out row number 9. Again, very tough weekend for both of these two. Not had the best qualifying, but the qualifying heats, they certainly shone through the order. Then you have Victoria Farfus from Brazil. We have Leonardo Spaluzzi starting alongside. They round out the top 20 on the grid. Row 11 sees Axel Nocom and Oscar Gallin rounding out the top 22 on row 11. Row 12 sees Zachariah Dole and Katrina E rounding out the top 24 on row 12. Again, both drivers having a very strong set of qualifying heats. Qualifying, though, it didn't fully go their way. Row 13 sees Sujana Dandu and Isaac Say. Isaac Say having a dramatic qualifying heat 2 earlier on after going wheel to wheel with Ella Häkkinen. On the road just behind on row 14, you see Christian Ebras and Sanjana Dandu, the sister of Sujana Dandu. They're on opposing lanes of each other, right behind each other as well. A little further behind, Vera Jurland and Xavier Duraski, who round out row 15. We had a not out in the qualifying heat earlier on. And then the final row of the grid sees Jan. And of course, the finals as well. Here we go then, the whistle blows, the green flag goes out as the drivers make their way round for their effectively 2 formation laps at the start of this one. Looks like all karts have fired up and been started. All but the driver at the back of the grid. Looks like one of our drivers not getting going. And yes, and another potential staller there as well. That's Leonardo Spaluzzi, who is struggling to get going as well. It was Vera Jurland who is back out on track for this one, which is good to see. Looks like both of them do get going again. Well then, let's quickly run through the starting lineup for this one once again. We did earlier on, but let's do it once more. It's Casper Raypold and James Anagnostianis starting on the front row of the grid. William Marshall and Vanessa Schilkenate on row number 2. Kees Aziza and Egon Prodrotti, they round out row number 3 with Sara Matsui and Ella Häkkinen on row 4. Matthias Witwer and Toby Gale on row 5 from Angelina Simmons and Nilis Malik on row 6. Then it's Conor Clancy and Sofia Pavaznia on row 7. Max Murray and Flavio Caria, they round out row number 8 with Enea Pizzuto and Emilia Wiśniewska on row number 9. Victoria Farfus and Leonardo Spaluzzi, they round out the top 20 on row 10 from Axel Nocom and Oscar Gallin on row 11. It's row 12, Zachariah Dole with Katrina E alongside. Then it's Sujana Dandu from Isaac Say, Christian Ebras from Sanjana Dandu on row 14, Vera Jurand and Xavier Duraski rounding out the 30 kart grid. Jan Michalesio not out on track, unfortunately, after an injury sustained in one of the qualifying heats earlier on. We do wish Jan all the best. The driver from Poland, unfortunately, not taking part in this final. Well, drivers now on their formation lap, their final formation lap. From here, they will have to get gridded up. The red line a little further round on that one, a live look at our race control team. Head of race control, Joanna Falco, and Sarah Blanco, keeping an eye on all of the circuit cameras around. They're in constant communication with our race director, Martin Bean. And eyes on the circuit as well, keeping a close eye on all of our drivers. Here we go then, into the final corner. It is Kasper Reipold on the inside line. It is James Anagnostiadis on the outside. Into the tram lines, lights go green, here we go, down and towards turn number 1, and it's a great start from Reipold. Holds on to the race lead of this one. Anagnostiadis on the outside, he gets swamped by the pack, and through goes Marshall, through goes Aziza. They all get up into first, second, and third place. Already off the track there, it's the 43 of Oscar Gallin. He's out of this race at turn number 1, lap 1. Not sure what happened, he did start on the outside row, he was starting alongside Axel Nocom. Not sure what happened on track though. Back with the race leaders though as they exit out of turn number 8, and it's a great getaway for Kasper Reipold. It's another driver out as well, and it's one of our Discovery Drive. It's another driver off at turn number 1. Now who is this? I believe that's Victoria Farfus off the track. Victoria Farfus from Brazil is out at turn number 1 alongside Oscar Gallin. So both drivers out of this one. I think the marshal's done a brilliant job of clearing the track there at turn number 1. No yellow flags out there. Ooh, a little bit of a mistake there for Kees Aziza in second place. Running wide as the battle's kicking off for third place there just in the background. So it's Reipold leading from Kees Aziza. William Marshall there in third place. Then it's Toby Gale who's up into P4. Gale, who had a disaster in qualifying, started this race P10 and is already up into P4, off the track and out of the race. It's the 22, sorry. It's Vera Jöland. Unfortunately, the driver from Sweden is out of this final in the opening stages. She started in P29 on the inside row. Unfortunately, out of this race in the early stages. Back across the start-finish line, and look at the lead here. Reipold, 9/10 clear, as through goes Toby Gale, and off the track goes Kees Aziza. That's an absolute disaster, running wheel to wheel with Gale there, and unfortunately just tumbled down the order. So Toby Gale now up into P2 and is breaking away. There is Kees Aziza again, just trying to hold on to any position here, and it's just been absolutely flooded. Ella Häkkinen is there, Max Murray, Sara Matsui's there as well. Oh, and off the track, it's all kicking off now. That's Angelina Simmons. Angelina Simmons rejoining the circuit. Dedicated performance. Having to rejoin for the pit lane exit. Well, it's all kicked off in the early stages of this race. Drivers filing themselves into order. Race control is certainly going to be busy with this one. As down the inside there, moves coming in thick and fast. That's Egon Pedrotti making the moves. Just getting past, I think that is Leonidas Peruzzi just going through. No, it's Matthias Witwer, who's just there as well. The driver who joined us for the Champions of the Future in the Steel Ring last year. Joining us again here for the Champions of the Future Academy program this time around. Reipold still leads now, but only by 0.6 of a second. Toby Gale is starting to close in. This is second place, who started P10. Currently P2, has gained 8 positions in this final. After qualifying at the back of the grid this morning, has had an absolutely superb run of qualifying heats. Is bringing William Marshall along for company. Both of them now starting to close in, but they're not the fastest drivers on track. It's Leonidas Peruzzi who is fastest, currently in P15. Race leader, Kasper Reipold, as we are on lap 5 now, is under threat here from Toby Gale. These two have not battled with each other yet this weekend, with them qualifying on complete opposite sides of the grid. It was only a puncture that prevented Gale to not be on pole position potentially earlier on today. But right now, this is the first time we are going to see these two drivers go to battle. So it's Reipold, Gale, Marshall, and Agnostiidis. Vanessa Schilkenet, who's there in P5 from Egon Prodroti. Mateusz Witwer, who's there in P7 from Conor Clancy. Sofia Pavasnaya, who's there in 9th. And Kees Aziza, who's dropped down to 10th place. Top 10 very close still, as look at this. Toby Gale has closed right in now. This is the battle for the race lead. Reipold and Toby Gale, line astern, on the start-finish straight. Axel Nocom seeing a warning flag in this race. Expect there may be a few of those after the very dramatic early first couple of opening laps for our drivers. Right here now, Toby Gale looking like the dominant force here, as Witwer now sets the fastest lap of the race, 50.381, showing that the back of the pack starting to close back in. Here's a look. Oh, big moment there for the 44 of Kees Aziza. And again there through turn 1, really struggling with the tyres. That was the moment that Angelina Simmons got punted off the track there. Brought it back on, really closed back in that top pack as well. So, a very dramatic first opening few laps here in the OKN Junior category. For Kasper Reipold, though, his dominant performance this weekend is under threat. Toby Gale has closed in after qualifying at the back, has pushed his way through these qualifying heats, started this race in P10 and really closing in. Here, the battle further behind. This is 6th and 7th place. That was Egon Prodroti and Mateusz Witwer, who are battling away, the number 35 and 18. Back in with the race leaders, though. Toby Gale not going for the move just yet. Thinking against it as they make their way back onto the start-finish straight. Big check over the shoulder there for Kasper Reipold. He can see that Toby Gale has appeared out of nowhere. Where's the move going to come? Oh, I thought that was going to send it down the inside there. That would have been a big move there for Gale if he could have pulled that off. Not quite close enough through turn 5, but certainly showing his nose now to Kasper Reipold, showing that he is here and he is going to go for the move if a gap presents itself. Marshall as well, right there in 3rd place, is ready to pick up the pieces between these two if any do occur. But right now they look in control here. Again, they're not the fastest drivers out on track at the moment. Conor Clancy's purple in Sector 1. It's Max Murray who's purple in Sector 2. But it was Kasper Reipold who put in a big Sector 3 on that last lap. He's opened the gap back up to 0.3 of a second. He's responding to Toby Gale here. You may be thinking that, right, Gale's closed in, fair play, but I was on pole position in qualifying. I've got the pace. And he's thinking, I want a perfect first day here. Head dips down, really pushing it. We're half race distance now as well. We've still got a long way to go in this race. And it's just a waiting game now between these two. Here's a look at the restart then. And again, good getaway initially for Reipold. That inside line working well. And Agnostiidis has dropped him down into P4 at the moment. He's dropping there. Oh, big emotional moment there for Oscar Gallin. Of course, had a moment on track there. Victoria Farfus was also off. They actually started next to each other at the start of that race as well. 19th and 22nd. They were on opposing lanes of each other, and both of them went off. So clearly something between the two of them in that early stages. Back here, though, action happening. Conor Clancy down the inside of Mateusz Witwer, moving up into P7. Back with the live pictures now. Battle still happening thick and fast here. Conor Clancy, who has had a relatively decent show over the course of today, has always been around that midfield sector. putting in some good times and good sector times as well. Just needs to put it all in together. A little wide at the entry of turn 1, hugs the later apex of turn 2 for Clancy. Starting to close in as well on Egon Prodroti, so the battle's still happening thick and fast, as again we see a fastest lap now going out to Kasper Reipold, responding the gap back up to 0.2 of a second. Big lunge here down the inside for Clancy on Prodroti. Prodroti just going defensive, and there you go, you can see the hand gestures from Clancy coming in saying, right, good job, you tried to defend it, didn't work out, let's work together now, don't attack, let's close up. To Vanessa Schilkene, who's there, P5, a few tenths of a second further up the road. Well, this is an interesting development here. Kasper Reipold, who was looking under pressure earlier on in this race, has found some momentum here. Toby Gale, who had closed right in, is now starting to fade away in this stage. Did he push those tyres too hard? It would make sense. It would make sense through the qualifying heats. Toby Gale had to work so hard through the qualifying heats today to gain those positions. I think his average was 18 positions gained in both of the qualifying heats earlier on after starting at the back. I think really pushed those tyres to their core. And I think now they are starting to suffer just that little bit here. Gale is becoming under pressure now from William Marshall, who himself has had to battle a fair bit over the course of today. But that gap, I believe, is coming down just that little bit more now. It's down to about half a second between the two of them. I think the battle for second might be on here. William Marshall certainly looking like a threat this weekend. He started P3. He's currently P3. This would be a brilliant start to the weekend. Certainly help out the Virtual Championship as well. It'll be Kasper Reipold with the 76 championship points. Remember, it's 50 points for this one. It's defensive. Goes Prodroti. Tess Vitva trying to get past there through turn 1. It's not quite close enough just yet. And again through turn number 5. Again, just watching that switchback move here. Not quite close enough to get his wagon wheel to wheel. Staying there in place, P8 for the time being. Big send down into turn 8. And he does it. Tess Vitva down turn 8 and down the inside, gets past Prodroti and moves up into P7. That's a big move there. But again, can he maintain it here? Defensive line there through 11 and 12. Checking over the shoulder. Prodroti all over that rear bumper. Not able to get it back down the inside. They stay there, line astern across the start-finish line. This is the battle for P7 on your screen. All the meanwhile, Angelina Simmons is closing in. Kees Aziza is there in 10th place. He was fighting right at the front of this one. Started P5, is currently down in P10 after those little mistakes earlier on in the race. Linas Peruzzi still there, also in P11 from Max Murray. Pezzuto in 13th from Sara Matsui in 14th place as well. Flavio Caria rounding out the top 15 at this midway point of the race. We're on lap 16 of 18. Only a couple of laps left to go. And here, the battle for second place is on. Here we go, Marshall to the inside through turn 1, wheel to wheel, and gets it done. Gale down into 3rd place. He's had a brilliant run on this one, but I think those tyres are just absolutely spent right now. They've got nothing left to give for Toby Gale. He's had a brilliant run today, and a podium finish is still on the cards here for Toby Gale after a disaster in qualifying earlier today. James Anagnostiadis still there in P4. Is closing in. His best result was a P2. This would be James's not worst result, but he had a 4th earlier on as well. Just missing out on those top 3 spots on a couple of occasions here. He is trying to close in, but the gap just stays consistent. Final lap board is out. And it's Raypold who leads the way. Marshall and Gale, second and third on your screens here. Marshall goes defensive. Here we go. Gale could get a chance here for a P2. And Ignatiadis could get a chance here for a P3 as they dive into turn number 8. Marshall on the inside line. Gale looking to the inside now. Through turn 9, not close enough. Through 10, into 11, the hairpin, the first of 2. It's going to be the switchback move if he can do it here. Can he get his wheels down the inside? No, he can't. But for this man here, Kasper Reipold for Poland, it is a beautiful end to the first half of the weekend. For Poland, it's Kasper Reipold across the line. He takes it. It's a perfect day. It is 75 championship points. He takes it. What a day. A sigh of relief for Kasper Reipold. He knows that's a good start, but he's got to do it all over again tomorrow. But day 1 is signed, sealed and done for Kasper Reipold. Marshall holds on to second. Gale takes third place. Absolutely nothing between the two of them across the line. 0.02 of a second across the line between those two drivers. James Anagnostiadis wasn't able to close in. He finishes in P4 from Connor Clancy, and Vanessa Schilkenate in P6 from Egon Prodrotti. There on your screen, your top 3. It's Kasper Reipold, it's William Marshall, it's Toby Gale. Your 1, 2, 3. Well, a look then at the end at the full provisional classifications. It's Reipold from Marshall, Gale from Agnostiadis, then it's Clancy, Schilkenate, Prodrotti from Witwer, Peruzzi from Simmons, then it's Murray from Aziza, Pizzuto from Matsui, Carrier rounding out the top 15. Peruzzi with the 11 positions gained, Gale with the 7 positions gained in that race. P16 sees Ella Häkkinen.
We'll now welcome on to the podium to present the trophies, Dino Chiesa from Kart Republic to present the third place trophy to Toby Gale. A superb race for Toby Gale. Please again welcome Dino onto the podium to present the second place trophy to William Marshall. And finally, the winner's trophy going to Poland's Kasper Reipold. Excellent. Dino, just join us on the side of the podium there. Drivers, trophies nice and high up in the air for me. Raise those trophies in the air. Nice big smiles for our photographers down there. Big cheesy grins. Perfect. Nice to see. And then all drivers on to the top spot of the podium. Dino, if you'd like to join them as well, all on the top step. For me, please, guys. Thank you so much. Squeeze in. The podium's big enough. There we go. Nice big smiles again. Brilliant to see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, give it up once again for the OKN Junior category on day 1 here at Cremona.